Hello everyone! With the multiplayer update, we're having a lot of new players joining established and existing farms. I've noticed this creates something of an imbalance since the players joining the farm have a skill set of 0 across the board and the player on the host farm probably has skills around level 10. As the frequent host, you want the peasants joining your game to be as useful as possible, so that you can spend more of your valuable time enjoying the finer things in life. So this video is exactly that, the fastest and easiest way to level a new player. Joining an existing farm actually adds a lot of good opportunities and shortcuts. And at level 0, you're going to be very inefficient with any of the actions you use and frequently out of energy and not very much help to anyone at all. It's once you get past about level 5 that you really start to hit your stride, and that shouldn't be hard as leveling is scaled and looks something like this. Well, let's get into it. This is the fastest and easiest way to level your skills on an existing farm. Keep in mind this is considering that the host is decently far into the game. And we're going to start this off with the skill that I deem most important, and that of course is farming. Now what you really need to know for farming is levels are gained by harvesting crops and caring for animals. Each level grants +1 hoe and watering can proficiency, which doesn't really make a big deal in the end proficiency wise. You can use up a lot of energy as you're doing that, so the difference between a level 0 proficiency and level 10 proficiency isn't actually that much. But you don't gain any experience from hoeing and watering anyway, so you're going to want to try and avoid those things at all costs. Now, hopefully the host you're playing with already has some established sprinklers laid out, that way you don't actually have to hoe and water, all you gotta do is harvest those crops. And that is the easiest part. Hopefully you joined a file and there's 400 crops ready to go, all you gotta do is pick those and you'll get your farming experience way up. That should level you quite decently depending on what's in the ground, because different crops give you different experience. Generally, the more expensive and valuable the crop is, the more experience it's gonna give you. Also, it's a little known fact that the higher your farming skill, the higher your chance of actually finding gold quality crops and actually getting more experience. So once you start getting more levels, you start finding more valuable crops and therefore getting more experience. Again, this doesn't really matter as long as you're harvesting the crops that are worth a lot of gold, such as the ancient fruit, you'll be making lots of farming experience. You'll hit level 10 in no time. Now to put the crop experience into perspective, if you want to harvest just parsnips all the way to level 10, it's going to take you 1875 parsnips. But a more valuable experience-wise seed, like the ancient seed, is going to give you only 349 to hit level 10. So that's 1875 parsnips as compared to 349 ancient fruit. Considering the greenhouse is about 120 spaces and people's greenhouses are often full of ancient fruit, well, that's only a few weeks worth of harvesting. Harvest that thing 3 times, you'll hit level 10 farming. 3 greenhouses, that's it. As I mentioned earlier, you also get experience from taking care of the farm animals. Well, you're probably not going to have that luxury if you start a new file, but on an existing farm, you might have 12 pigs running around. All you got to do is run around and right click on them. That's easy enough. That's easy experience. Do that every day. That'll give you a huge boost. And if you happen to have a coop or there's any animal products inside your barn, well, go ahead and pick those up because those just give you experience too. It's that easy. And for those of you that are more ambitious than myself, you can actually go around and milk the cows, milk the goats, shear the sheep. That's good experience too. It takes just a little bit longer and a little bit more effort, but it doesn't use up any energy at all and will get you farming experience. So farming is that easy. I would say it is the most important when you join a new farm. That's the way you probably contribute the most, doing the crops. You're not going to do it very good if you're level 0, but once you hit level 5, especially level 10, you'll be a big help and can do those mega crops. So when you join a file, ask if you can harvest the crops for a bit, especially if there's a greenhouse of ancient fruit. Seriously, just pick this 3 times. It's ready once a week. Everyone in the dogs has a greenhouse full of ancient fruit. Also, if you're going to be joining a file and playing on it for quite a bit of time, don't forget to discuss those perks. Because at level 5, you either have to take the rancher route or the tiller route. One is basically good for animals, one is basically good for crops. So if the existing player already has the tiller, which makes crops worth more and faster, you might want to take the rancher route. That way the animals are worth more. That way you can take care of the animals, the other player can take care of the ranching, the crops. It'll work out a lot better that way. That way you have all your bases covered. So if you have all 4 players coordinated, all your crops are going to grow 10% faster, artisan goods are worth 40% more, you're going to befriend coop animals quicker, incubation time cut in half, and you're going to befriend barn animals quicker, sheep produce wool faster. You'll be making a ton of money if you get all 4 of those perks and everyone's coordinated. Next, let's talk about the mining. Everyone loves the mining, it's a lot of fun to do, you can make some decent money down here, but normally when you start a new file, you've got to wait till day 5 before you can even start mining, and even then, it's a slow process. But the advantage of joining a new farm is that the existing player probably already has upgraded tools. That's right, you can share tools. So if they already have an iridium pickaxe, borrow it from them for a while, and then you can smash rocks even faster. Now obviously the deeper you go, different rocks are worth more experience. The red rocks way down deep, well, they're easy experience, they're one hit. You could run down, do just that, smash that rock, leave, no risk involved, do it again. Obviously the monsters are going to give you a little bit of problem if you have to fight any, But play it carefully. If you see a monster, leave. If not, smash the red rocks, smash the gold ore. Also, as a general rule for mining, you want to focus on the grey rocks. The grey rocks actually give you experience. These regular rocks give you 0 experience unless coal is dropped. So when you make your way through the mines, hit the grey rocks first, hoping to get a ladder. Any ore and gem is obviously worth a very good experience, so smash those whenever you find them, but ignore the regular rocks whenever you can. So the advantage to joining an existing farm is you probably have access to every level of the mine, so you can get super easy, super good experience from all the rare ore you'll find at the bottom. And you'll have access to probably upgraded tools and weapons, that way you can smash the rocks a lot faster with less energy, therefore leveling a lot faster, and be able to fight the monsters a lot quicker. Also, if your host player happens to be particularly rich, well, you can use bomb to blow up the rocks. That still counts as mining experience. Buy a whole bunch of bombs, go blow up the whole mines. You'll level up super quickly that way. You'll be amazed at how quick it goes. But an even easier way would be to mine the quarry. The quarry has no monsters. It frequently spawns gems and ore, so you can make your way here. As long as they have it unlocked, smash all the gems and ore you can find. Obviously, these rocks will get you 0 experience. But again, you can use bombs to do it quickly. Hopefully they haven't filled it with bee houses like I have. But look at all the gems and ore just sitting there. That's free experience. If you're level 0, go around, hit those all one hit with the iridium pickaxe. Very, very easy experience. You'll be caught up to 10 before you know it. Now, admittedly, your mining level probably isn't super important, especially if the host player has already hit level 10 mining and done everything they can do. They probably collected enough ore, but on the off chance that they haven't, or you're just trying to do something big and ridiculous on your farm, well, that's great. You can be level 10 mining, you'll find a ton of ore, you'll do it very quickly and easily, and be able to create whatever monster you're trying to create. Next, we're going to talk about foraging. Foraging, in my opinion, is a really important skill, especially because when you hit level 10, you can potentially find 2 items and they're all going to be iridium quality. Those are going to give you a ton of health and energy. By the time you're at this point, you're not going to need it anymore because you're going to have so many excess foraging items. And that also has a pretty amazing effect on things like truffles. So if you have any pigs at all on your farm, you're going to want foraging level 10 because for every truffle you find, you're probably going to find 2 iridium quality. Those are worth 1250 gold each, so pigs can make you a ton of money if your foraging skill is high enough. Now normally, obviously, leveling foraging is as easy as running around picking stuff up off the ground. Sometimes there are an abundance of things in blackberry and salmonberry season, but normally you're just going to run around and whatever you pick up off the ground gives you 7 experience. But the same kind of principle applies that we had in mining. The host player is probably going to have upgraded tools, so go ahead and borrow that iridium axe, go chop some trees down. Picking items off the ground gives you 7 experience. Chopping down trees gives you almost double at 12 experience, but these large logs and stumps like the hardwood in the secret woods gives you 25. That is far and away the fastest way to get foraging experience. 3 hits with an iridium axe, these break, so that was 25 experience. That's 50. This is 75. You'd have to go around and pick up 10 items off the ground to match that experience, but we've still got more. So you want to level foraging really quick? Go into the secret woods, they've probably got it unlocked. If not, go take their axe, chop your way in here. Don't forget about the 2 stumps that are hiding down below here, that's an extra 50 experience. So you can get a decent amount of experience every single day just by chopping wood, and it takes no time at all. And for those of you out there that like to play in the forest farm layout, you also get the hardwood growing on the far left side of your farm. This obviously isn't the forest farm, I'm just showing you the left side of my farm for some reason. But that really is as simple as foraging is. Picking up items off the ground is good, chopping down trees is better, chopping hardwood and the big logs even better again, so do that as many days as you can. Go take that iridium axe, chop wood, you'll be leveled up in no time. And like I said, leveling up your foraging benefits everyone because you're going to have a surplus of foraged items. If you're getting 2 of them in their iridium quality, you can share those items with everyone else you're playing with. Lots of energy for everyone, big time productivity. Let's talk about fishing, which is one of the skills I haven't been putting a lot of time into on this file. But fishing is very important, it is very helpful. You can make actually really good money by fishing, and you can find a ton of useful artifacts. So if you guys are going for a completionist style farm, well, fishing is a great way to do it because you'll either be making money or finding useful artifacts. And again, it's the same kind of principle. Once you join in an existing farm, they're probably not going to be in spring. Maybe they are, but if they're not, you tend to catch more valuable fish in summer, fall, and winter, and therefore those fish are better experience. The problem with this is you're probably going to have a basic rod because you can only use a basic rod at level 1, you can't use the better rod till level 2, and then you can't use the even better rod till level 5. Correction, you can't use the iridium rod until level 6. So you're stuck with the basic rod until level 2. I would recommend upgrading that right away and then the iridium rod at level 6. Now, the only advantage you're going to have fishing-wise is the fact that you'll be able to afford the better rods as soon as they're available, plus put bait on them, therefore catching the fish faster. And I would recommend buying trout soup as much as you can. It does cost $250 per one, but it does boost your fishing by one, and that actually makes a big difference, especially if you're only level 1, 2, 3 and trying to catch harder fish. You're going to need that fishing bar to be as big as possible. Depending on how good you are at fishing personally, I would try different areas. If the ocean's too hard for you, maybe try the lake. If the lake's too hard for you, try the river in town. Circle around. There's always easy to fish to catch in every season, but some of the fish do get pretty hard. You're not as likely to catch them with your fishing skill not as high. But if the host you're playing with happens to have lots of crab pots lying around for some reason, those actually give you pretty good fishing experience. So you could just bait and retrieve those every single day. If you were to start a new file, you wouldn't have that luxury. You don't have access to the crab pots for quite a while. So maybe even ask the host you're playing with to put down a bunch of these. All you gotta do is bait them, collect them the next day. That's really easy experience. So fishing is obviously pretty tricky. I would recommend just practicing, making yourself better. The advantages are you'd be able to buy the upgraded rods right away, keep them baited, then as soon as you get the iridium rod at level 6, put the bait and all sorts of good lures on there. You'll upgrade your fishing in no time. You'll make a ton of experience and money doing it. Plus, I should probably point out that if you catch a fish perfectly, that is, it doesn't leave you a fishing bar, you'll get more experience. So you definitely want every advantage you can get. Definitely use trout soup every time you're fishing, especially if you're like me, trying to fish in fall with a low skill level. But like I said, there's easy fish to catch in every season. Well, I guess the only thing we have left to talk about, you and I, is the combat skill. This one's probably pretty straightforward. If you've been paying attention to the video so far, use whatever advantages you have already. So, the host has probably got some of the galaxy weapons, or whatever. Take whatever weapons they have. You can buy others from the Adventurers Guild. Take some of that host's hard-earned money. Buy yourself some weapons. Also, it's probably worth buying yourself some items with defense. Might not be the biggest deal in the world, depending on exactly what your playstyle is. You could borrow the host boots. Maybe they have some extras. Whatever the case, borrow their equipment. Admittedly though, combat is never something I really try and level. It just kind of happens as you're playing, because you're going to need to spend some time in the mines and also in Skull Cavern. It's usually the last thing I do level up because it just tends to go the slowest, just because there's no really good way to actually do it. Now if you are really trying to level it, my suggestion would be get yourself a galaxy sword or a galaxy hammer, go into the mutant bug lair in the sewers. That's probably something you have access to, again if the player is decently far into the game. This is a great place for getting experience because look at all the bugs. And they fly straight toward you. It's very easy just to kill them one after the other. Great experience. Do this every single day. You'll get there in no time. That about sums up combat, because combat doesn't really matter that much. Just get a hold of some decent weapons and armor. You'll be alright. Alright, that's it for this video. Let me know any more good video ideas. I gotta keep these ideas coming out. In fact, I gotta start the next video basically right away. Hope you liked it. Thanks for watching.